Hello, this is Melissa Richardson with Capital Christian Fellowship Church, and today is another Tuesday, Hope and Encouragement. I want to start out reading to you from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 through 3, and it is from the New International Version. It reads as, Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you may not grow weary and lose heart. We are facing such difficult times now. It is so easy to just want to throw our hands up and just say, I surrender, I forget it all. But think about the witnesses that have gone before us, those who have endured so much more than even what we're going through, because they learned that it is Christ. He's the perfecter of our faith. When we stay close to him, close to what he teaches, close to what he say about difficulties, close to what he say about how we are to treat our neighbors, how we are to treat those who are different from us, those who believe different, those who speak different, those who are just different in so many ways. When we think about the things that the people who've gone before us endure because of their faith in the perfecter of their faith, Jesus Christ, then we have the ability as a generation of people who are living our best lives in comparison to what those who've gone before us had to endure. So we should have that resolve in us to say that no matter how difficult it may get, no matter how different people are, from what I believe, I would treat everyone the way Jesus has said. We are to be kind, generous, considerate of other people. And maybe when we present ourselves in every facet of our being, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's in the church, wherever we show up, we live and present ourselves as if we are truly believers and children of God. Maybe when others look at that, they are curious enough to want to know, why are we different? Why are we able to withstand the difficulties? Why are we able to recognize that there is more to life than just what we can see and put our eyes to every day? That there's a whole spectrum of life on this side of eternity and on the other side of eternity. And we look at the spectrum of life through the lens of Jesus, through his love, through his compassion, through his heart. So that gives us the strength to know that because of the witnesses who can testify, because they have crossed over, that they have actually been able to recognize that some of the things that were before them, they were able to endure because they stayed standardly and centered on Jesus as their standard. Jesus was their standard in terms of how they conduct their ways, in terms of how they face the problem. So I offer to you, when you go back and read that verse, realize that there are many who have gone before us, and we thank them for the sacrifices that they have made, because they leaned in on what Jesus said about how we are to treat and to respond to one another, how we are to interact with the world that is around us, the good part of it, the not so excellent portion of it. There's a standard that we hold up because we are believers, and that standard allows us to get through our personal issues when we're facing difficulties. It allows us to have a mind that we renew daily because we're in prayer, we are in the Word of God, and we're learning how to train our being, our sense of who we are, in a way that we know that there is more to life because there's a whole spectrum. And we know that as we go through each facet of our journey along the way, the decisions that we make, just like the witnesses who have gone before us, it will determine that we will be in the presence of Jesus who sit on the throne of God. So let us not be so discouraged. Let us not lose hope in knowing that there is more to life than just what we are experiencing now. And yes, that sounds so easy to say, but we have to have something that we anchor our faith in, something that we believe that whatever it is that we're going through, whatever it is that is causing difficulties for us, that we are going to get through it. The witnesses got through it. It was difficult at times, but they got through, and now they're rejoicing on the other side to be able to encourage us. To encourage us in ways to say that hold tight, don't lose sight of the fact that Jesus is the anchor that we must lean into. Jesus is the anchor that is going to give us a perspective about what we're going through, so that we don't just give up and give in to things that really has no eternal value. That there are many things that have no eternal value. So we want to make sure that we are putting our faith in the right thing, that we're uplifting and we're not tearing down. We can be different. We can be the individuals that God has so fearfully and wonderfully made each one of us, but we can do it in a way that we are doing it in a Christ-like way. I was so pleased when I heard something earlier today about a group of Christians who have come together. They were formerly considered themselves as principally evangelicals, but they have come together and say that what they're witnessing in our entire political scene, it's not right. It doesn't represent the spirit and the love of God. So they are separating themselves away from things that they previously had aligned themselves with. And they're saying it has nothing to do with party affiliation. It is about standing firm on what is right before a holy God. See, that is what is testifying in them. They're laying a foundation so that those who will come after them will look at this. Let us govern ourselves in ways that Christ is exemplified. Govern ourselves in ways that we can have differences, but we don't have to be so callous and so cold and so cruel and so mean, and not look at the fact that we are talking about the images of God. That's who our brothers and sisters are. They are the Imago Dei, the images of God in his likeness, and we are to treat them with a level of respect, regardless of what they may have an affiliation with in terms of the political system. But there is a standard that has no bearing on whatever party you want to associate with. But when you have a standard of Christ and you make your decisions based on that standard, you're going to always come out with the right decision. But when you make decisions based on just what you want to satisfy the flesh, or satisfy ways that somebody is going to be harmed by your decision, then you have to come back and look at it from a Christ-like perspective and say that am I presenting myself in a way that the witnesses would be proud of? Even when it cost them something, they stood for what was the right thing to do. And we have to do that. So sacrifices have been made first by our faithful, loving, kind Jesus, who gave us the opportunity so we will know what sacrifices we need to make. Witnesses in the past have done it. We are the witnesses today. Let us lay a foundation that our very lives speak that we are believers, that we are going to get through the difficulties, whether it's personal, whether it's the community, whether it's in the church, whether it's in the society. When we show up, we're going to show up in ways that Christ is represented, and we're going to live in accordance with that because we know he's on the throne. So my beloved, I want you to have a wonderful day. Realize that those who've gone before us have set examples. Let us follow in the footsteps, that we build up and we never tear down, That's mean building up internally with what we're going through individually, and also building up those who are around us, because Christ is the perfecter. He gives us the strength and the ability to be able to look at things in the right perspective. So let us persevere, because we are laying down a foundation that we want those who come behind us to say that my sister, my brother lived in accordance with his or her faith, and that got them through difficulties. And if they got through it, I can get through it. And I believe that. So have a wonderful day. Be blessed. And may the Lord richly, richly favor and give you whatever you need, regardless of your circumstances. In Jesus' precious name, bye-bye.